Now that we've learned about the main operations our entity manager can perform, I want to discuss how these operations interact with associated entities. Let's return to our example of the find operation and consider what will happen if we use find to retrieve a person that is associated with a list of outfits. From a programmatic standpoint, it's convenient if any person object we retrieve has its list of outfits already populated, but from a database access standpoint, we may not always want to perform the necessary queries to retrieve each outfit every time I ask for a person. Let's say we had a simple method that looked up a person and returned its favorite composer. Notice we don't use the outfit data at all, so it makes sense to avoid retrieving the outfit data from the database. There's a tool for scenarios in which we don't need all the entity data. In scenarios like these, we can pass a fetch parameter to the one-to-many annotation in our person class. This parameter can take either the fetchType.eager or the fetchType.lazy values. Note that in this particular case, Hibernate will perform the lazy loading behavior above even if we don't specify fetchType.lazy, because the default fetch type for one-to-many is already fetchType.lazy. FetchType.eager tells Hibernate to always retrieve the associated values as part of the initial retrieval, so we would see a query that returns all the rows for every outfit whenever a person is retrieved. FetchType.lazy tells Hibernate to wait to retrieve those values until they are referenced. The initial find method only looks up the person entity. Since the outfits aren't referenced at all in our findFavoriteComposer method, no further retrievals are necessary. If I modified my favoriteComposer method so it prints out the number of outfits, Hibernate will make one query when the find method is called, and then a second query when I print out the lines. Here's a list of the defaults specified by JPA. One-to-many and many-to-many are lazy by default, while many-to-one and one-to-one are eager by default. The Hibernate documentation recommends setting everything to lazy and then overriding it on a per-query basis, but the Hibernate implementation decided to follow the JPA spec by defaulting to eager for the above cases in the name of consistency. An easy way to remember this list is that both associations mapping to many objects default to lazy, because it's more costly to retrieve lots of objects from the database. Associations mapping to one object default to eager, because there's usually less information.